Welcome to the fiscal year 2027 proposed budget public hearing for Carroll County, Maryland. As we always do, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent reflection. For joining us this evening, I'll call to order the public hearing. We're very grateful to have all of you with us, and I hope that everybody is doing well. My name is Joe Vigliotti, Commissioner from District 1 and currently President of the Board of Commissioners. I'm joined by all four of my friends this evening. We have Commissioner Michael Guerin from District 4 and Vice President of the Board. We have Commissioner Kenny Kyler from District 2, Commissioner Tom Gordon from District 3, and Commissioner Susan Krebs from District 5. Our role here tonight is to hear what you have to say about the budget we've been working on for the last couple of months. If you like it or dislike it, if you support or oppose certain parts of it, or whether there's something you think we could add or consider, we want to hear it. We're also joined by members of our Department of Management and Budget, as well as our Department Director, Ted Zaleski, to whom I will now turn things over. Ted?
Hey, I'm Ted Zaleski, but I guess that's not necessary now. Welcome to the FY27 proposed budget hearing. This hearing is being broadcast live in the Carroll County YouTube channel and will be recorded. The proposed budget is available on the county website, and there's a spot where you can click to send comments or questions on the budget. Between recorded meetings on the budget and the budget itself, information is available for you to develop educated and informed positions on the proposed budget. I encourage each of you to take advantage of the information the commissioners have made available. The commissioners are scheduled to hold a budget work session on May 12th, during which they may consider potential changes to the proposed budget. The commissioners will adopt the budget on May the 21st at 9 o'clock in the morning. Right in front of me, we have a sign language interpreter. I have to do a bunch of numbers later, and every year I say I will try and talk slowly, but everybody reminds me that I end up talking fast. The hearing tonight addresses the following: the operating and capital budgets, our 6 enterprise funds, that's solid waste, water and sewer, septage, firearms, airport and fiber network, pension trust funds, grant fund, special revenue funds, other post-employment benefits fund, the LoSAP fund, and proposed water and sewer rates. Let me take a minute to describe how things will work this evening. If you would like to speak and you haven't already, you should go out to the lobby and fill out one of these cards. There are people out there to help. There are 2 microphones up front. I'll call out 5 names. If those 5 people could make their way toward one of those microphones, then each speaker will have 3 minutes to make their comments. There'll be a timer up on the screen here. We ask you to respect the time limit so we can keep moving through the evening. And this is just a suggestion, but I would like to suggest if somebody has made the points you want to make, there's nothing wrong with simply saying, I agree with what that person said, and keep moving on. The commissioners will get the idea that you are for or against a particular idea. I know we're sometimes dealing with issues that can lead to passionate and emotional responses. I encourage you to share your passion with the commissioners, but please be civil and respectful to the Board of County Commissioners and to the other speakers. Now, a summary of the budgets that have been proposed for FY27. The operating budget, $645,504,190. The capital fund, $221,856,001. Grant fund, $28,239,980. The Utilities Enterprise Fund, $18,310,599. The Solid Waste Enterprise Fund, $17,663,150. OPEB Fund, $3,085,000. Special revenue funds, $16,336,250. The pension fund, $14,128,770. The airport enterprise fund, $1,375,690. The septic enterprise fund, $916,000. The firearms enterprise fund, $307,830. Fiber network enterprise fund, $761,870. And LoSAP, $660,000, for a total of $969,145,330. Now I have to read you something that the state tells us how to say it. So if you don't like this, it's not my fault. FY27 proposed water and sewer rates. Pursuant to Chapter 51-01C of the Code of Public Local Law and Ordinances of Carroll County, notice is hereby given of a proposed water and sewer rates for fiscal year 2026-27, affecting all users on county systems. Proposed rates for water, base charge per quarter, $14.05, sewer, $20.48. Usage rates, 0 to 10,000 gallons, $12.99 and $15.73. 10,001 to 30,000 gallons, $13.32 and $16.63. Over 30,000 gallons, $13.75 and $17.94. The usage rates are billed per 1,000 gallons per quarter. Now I'm going to call out the first 5 names. If you could please come up to one of the microphones. Butch Brooks, Jason Sidock, Michael Butts, Gary Toth, and T. Johnson.
Go ahead. First off, I'd say, Commissioner Vigalotti, fellow commissioners, thank you for allowing us to come in. Have a couple minutes to say thank you. I know that you don't always hear thank you, but as the executive director for the Veterans Independence Project, it means a lot that the confidence you're placing in us to assist us with funding so that we can continue the mission of doing what we do for veterans. I know you're going to hear from several veterans tonight who have received services and or have just been a part of some of that. And it's not always that you guys have a lot of things to consider what you do with the money, and it means a lot to place that trust in us, knowing that we're going to be insured to continue the mission of helping fellow veterans throughout this county. So I just want to say thank you.
My name is T.J. Johnson. I'm 79 years old, and I'm a Vietnam veteran. And I just want to say I appreciate given the way you give this money to the VIP. And I think that the VIP is the greatest thing that ever hit Carroll County for helping veterans. I was 55 years old, and I didn't know anything about this. And I walked over there one day, and they got me everything I needed. And I can't say enough good about them. And I volunteer over there every day, and I'll be there to the day I can't walk anymore. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Butch Brooks. I didn't know I could get any benefits or anything until I got to CCVIP. And I'd like to thank all of you for everything you've done for us and that. Appreciate it.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Michael Butts. I do volunteer work at CCVIP. But I can say since 4.5 years ago, CCVIP, thanks to you all, have given me a phrase. I have no fear of the future and no pain of the past anymore. They came to me, I went to them, and they was able to help a person that's suffering from cancer. When I had to increase my medicine in 2021, they was able to do things that Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Martinsburg, West Virginia could not do. And through them, I suggest that office is very grateful for everything you guys can do to continue them going. I'm going to stay there until I die to help them out, and I appreciate all the help you've given them. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my name is Gary Toth, and I can't thank you all for enough for what you've done for us. And just being at the CCVIP, the camaraderie is unbelievable, because a lot of these guys went through the same things that the other ones went through. So they know what we're talking about when we talk to one another. And like I say, I don't miss a meeting. And, well, I think one of the reasons is, too, is they make me feel really, really, really smart. Okay? But I thank you all so very much. Yeah.
Okay, the next 5 names: Aaron Barna, Vincent Perricone, Josh Wilhide, Andrea Burstler, and Gary Foote.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Erin Barna, and I've been with CCVIP now for well over a year. I go to all the meetings every month, and I'm usually one of the only females, but it's like being in a room of 4th grade boys, sorry, which I adore. Because of your funding for CCVIP, this allows us to continue getting the services that they offer. You've got counseling, you've got helping us with our disability ratings with the VA, and everything else under the sun that we can think of as veterans that we need. We know that we can go to them, and they've got their doors open because of funding that you have provided as well. I greatly thank you for that. I've never had friends before. I'm just that way. I've always kept my head down and did what I needed to do, but I never had friends. I not only have friends, but I have brothers. So thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Vincent Perricone, Tawny Town. I'm here because I think the Lord wants us all to show how grateful we are to those of you who voted to support CCVIP. You have heart when you do that. You understand what veterans are about. We love each other. We love all of our veterans. We give our hearts to them, our time, and we got their backs. There are many veterans, as you know, suicidal, homeless, no benefits. Well, you're a part of that, helping us get the benefits. I want to emphasize something here. I'll be very brief, but you know the Holy Bible talks about veterans. Bible verses are often used to honor veterans that emphasize sacrifice, courage, and service, such as John 15:13. Greater love has no one than this, that someone laid down his life for his friends. I'm a veteran that was within seconds of losing my life. And Joshua 1:9, be strong and courageous. The Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And I would like to share something about what is a veteran. A veteran, whether discharged, active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who, at one point in his life, wrote a blank check payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including his life. That is honor, and there are way too many people, as you may know today, that no longer understand that fact, but we believe that you do, and we thank you. We're here because without us and those of you who served and all of our military, this arena right here would be empty. Thank you.
I am here at the
spreadsheet. It's about accountability, trust, and real-world consequences of the decisions made by the people in this room. Last year, during the FY26 budget cycle, members of the public urged this body to provide additional funding for CCPS, even though the waiver was granted. This is seen in the public hearing itself, when no less than 11 members of the public spoke in favor of additional funding being added to the current proposed budget at the time. This request was denied, largely on the basis of that the available funds in FY26 were considered one-time or non-recurring, and therefore too risky to commit. As a result, approximately 1,850 teachers, just teachers, not educators, in our school system have had their scheduled interview raises delayed by at least 6 months. Let's be clear about what that means. For a Tier 1 teacher, moving from the interval 10 to interval 11, the delay translates to about $1,200 in lost income. Across the district, that's roughly $2.2 million that never made it into our local economy. Money that would have been supported families, small businesses, and the broader community, as well as, honestly, would have increased the revenue back to the county. Now, as we review the numbers in FY27, we see something deeply concerning. The projected revenue for FY26 was not just slightly off, it was off by more than $66 million. Instead of anticipated decline predicted by the county budget office, the county experienced over 11% growth. This is not a minor forecasting error, this is a systematic failure in budget estimation. And it raises the critical question, if the county had the capacity all along, why are teachers the one that have to bear the burden of this miscalculation? Because make no mistake, this wasn't just a delay, it was forced educators, many of whom already operate on tight margins, to absorb financial strain due to decisions based on inaccurate predictions. Today, I'm asking for two things. First, that this body acknowledge the impact of these forecasting errors, not on abstract terms, but how it affects the real people in our community. And second, that we place stronger accountability in measures that ensure repeated misestimations of this scale do not continue without review, transparency, or correction. When predictions are wrong by tens of millions of dollars, the consequences are not theoretical, they are affecting the classroom, households, and across the community. We owe it to everyone in the public to do better. I yield my time back.
Good evening, County Commissioners. My name is Gary Foote from Westminster, and I would like to point out that the United States has recently been spending $1 billion a day on armaments used for destroying the Middle East. Why bring this up at a county budget hearing? Because this is why we can't have nice things. Carroll County's share of that money, well, for starters, we wouldn't have to argue anymore about funding outdoor school. $20 million for fire and EMS, I think that it would cover it. And maybe there'd even be enough left over to make sure our employee contracts are fully funded. What did we get instead? A country in the Middle East supposedly bombed back to the Stone Age. Really? Who voted for that? Let's talk about affordability. I realize it is easier to blame Annapolis, but let's start talking about some things we can do here as a county to help ourselves. I rode my bike here tonight because that represents $12,000 per year my wife and I save because we don't need an extra car. That is not counting the high blood pressure medication I don't need to buy. How about some investment in infrastructure so more people could do that? You could start with a bike rack right outside the Arts Center. It was cold and rainy today, but the sun will come out eventually, and when it does, the county will be losing money because we don't have solar panels in place to take advantage. For the last 3 years, the cheapest way to make electricity has been to point a solar panel at the sun. What are we waiting for? Yes, let's get busy because we're wasting daylight. Finally, I'd like to give a shout out to the organization in this county doing a better job of addressing affordability than probably anyone else, and that would be our library system. They offer thousands of dollars of service per person per year to anyone who walks through the door. Of course, wouldn't it be nice if we had better public transport so more people could get there? Books I didn't have to buy, movies I didn't have to pay to see, hobbies I didn't even know I'd like, and I'm just getting started with the list. The possibilities are limited only by our imagination. Please continue your support and, if possible, increase it. It will be money well spent. And if for some reason someone has the nerve to suggest a budget cut, do your best Nancy Reagan impersonation. Just say no.
Good evening. My name is Andrea Bursler, and I'm the Executive Director of the library. That was not planned, by the way. Thank you for your continued support of the Carroll County Public Library. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, the staff, and the thousands of residents who use our libraries every day, I want to express our sincere appreciation for the inclusion of the library's request in the proposed county budget. The 9.5% operating increase will allow us to continue to provide the high level of service that our community expects, while investing in the people who make that service possible through meaningful wage increases. The inclusion of the 3 new staff positions recognizes both the growth of our community and the increasing demand for library services across the county. And the addition of the new Eldersburg Branch Library project to the capital budget is an important investment in the future of the Freedom District and Carroll County as a whole. The current branch has served the community well for decades, and your decision to include this project in the capital budget means this part of Carroll County will have a larger, more flexible facility it needs. We are grateful that the proposed budget reflects an understanding of the crucial role that the library plays in education, workforce development, early literacy, technology access, and in community connections. As you move forward toward the final adoption of the budget later this month, we respectfully ask that these investments remain in place so that we can continue to build on the success of our community, on the success that our community has come to expect from Carroll County Public Library. Thank you for the continued partnership between Carroll County government and its library.
The next 5 names: Cindy Porter, Lisa Mazzano, Rick Glass, Jordan Bird, and Sharon Wilhide.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Cindy Porter, and first off, I'm also an Army veteran, so I want to thank you for the support for our veterans in Carroll County. But I'm here tonight as a staff member in Carroll County Public Schools. I am a special education paraprofessional in my 27th year in Carroll County Public Schools. This is also my 4th year as president of CASE, the Carroll Association of School Employees, representing close to 1,000 staff members working in our school system as assistants and clericals throughout Carroll County. This being my 4th year, I wanted to bring to the attention of everyone in this room, including you, that I think there's a general misunderstanding of what it takes to educate students in today's society. Many of us still have an understanding of what school was like 20 years ago. When I started as a special education paraprofessional back in the late 90s, my job was totally different than it is now. We have students coming to us now with more drastic and intensive needs than ever before. And the reason I say that there's a misunderstanding is because Carroll County is coming to an important juncture. If we're not already, we are an aging in place county. And that means, people love the rural nature of our county and also the agricultural nature and the small town atmosphere that our county offers its residents. But at the same time, our school system seems to come under attack every year by members of our county and residents of our county for the asks that we make. I just want to say, representing the people in my bargaining unit who work with the neediest students in our county, that people need to understand and hopefully realize that there are people working with these students who aren't making a living wage. Last year, after 2 increases in my contract, at the end of the fiscal year, at the end of the calendar year, according to the IRS, in my 27th year, I still made under $40,000, and I'm trying to live on that as a single person. I would love to live in Carroll County. My heart is here, my oldest child and my grandchildren are here, but that wasn't possible because when I was looking for someplace to live a year and a half ago, rooms for rent in our county were going $700 to $1,100 a month, and that was rooms, not apartments. So affordability is an issue, but also people in our county have come to Board of Education meetings when budgets are put forth to the residents and to the county and talk about, well, we can get rid of these people, we can get rid of these people. They obviously don't have an understanding of what people in my bargaining unit do. And I just wanted to give that to more people because I have people who won't sub for me because of the intensity of the students I work with. Thank you.
My name is Rick Glass, owner and operator of CannaCares, the only nonprofit in Carroll County focused on cannabis education. I want to take a few minutes to talk about something that should not be political or controversial, and that is education. Whether you support cannabis legalization or oppose it, I think we can all agree on one thing. Education reduces harm, improves public safety, and helps prevent negative outcomes. Cannabis is now legal in Maryland for adults, and House Bill 797 recently passed, allowing firefighters and certain first responders to legally consume medical cannabis under Maryland law. That is a major policy shift. When laws change, education has to follow. Ignoring cannabis use does not make it disappear. It increases the chances of misinformation, unsafe storage, impaired driving, accidental ingestion by children, or people using products without understanding dosing, interactions, or risks. Education is not encouragement. We teach alcohol safety, firearm safety, and prescription medication safety because informed people make safer decisions. Cannabis should be approached the same way. Many people, including seniors, veterans, parents, and professionals, are already using or considering cannabis. Regardless of why, they deserve accurate information instead of stigma or internet myths. House Bill 797 does not allow firefighters to work impaired, but it does mean we need better conversations about workplace safety, responsible use, proper dosing, and the differences between use and impairment. Education helps parents safely store products. Education helps reduce impaired driving. Education helps seniors understand dosing. And education helps veterans understand risks and benefits. And education helps create a safer and healthier community overall. Right now, many people are learning about cannabis through social media or trial and error. That should concern all of us. That is why I believe that not only in this budget cycle, but in future budget cycles as well, a portion of funds should be invested in the cannabis education and public safety outreach. Carroll County has an opportunity to lead by supporting evidence-based cannabis education, community outreach, and public safety campaigns. Again, this is not about telling people they should use cannabis. It's about recognizing reality and making sure our community has the tools to navigate it safely. Because no matter where you stand on cannabis, education will always be safer than ignorance. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Jordan Bird. I'm the president of the Winfield Rec Council here in Southern Carroll County. Obviously, we're a small rural county compared to some of our neighboring counties. And I've been told that this year some additional funds have been set aside for Rex and Park, which is fantastic news. But I am having a hard time clearly understanding how these funds will be equitably managed across all the rec councils and what, if any, timeline there is to manage those. I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but the National Recreation and Parks Association says that the median operating spending is $103 per capita. Carroll County spends $26 per resident on rec and culture, utilizing less than half of 1% of the county budget. Most, if not all, of youth athletics and field maintenance in our county is managed and supported by an all-volunteer rec council instead of direct county operations. We're one of the only counties in the state of Maryland that does that. This keeps the spending low on paper for the county, but it also makes the rec councils absorb most of the operational budgets and burdens. Our field development is sluggish, and our facility modernization is almost non-existent. With the state of volunteering significantly declining in our country as a whole, it's hard to see this model to continue to support the citizens of Carroll County in the future. We understand that the Project Open Space money is there to offset some of these burdens. However, it is allocated between our municipalities here in Carroll County and self-help, with a majority of it not going to the rec councils who need it the most. It appears that $2.9 million is being allocated for our sports complex, which is mainly used for adult sports leagues. No offense, I am an adult. But this facility is far away from the most populated parts of the county, and it has a staffed employee, where the other facilities are fully managed by all volunteer rec councils. The facility is asking for an absorbent amount of money for recreation vehicles over $40,000, must be a fancy one, and it's one of the only places that's lit in the county, minus 2 other parks. Over the past few weeks, I've been taking some time to go over the county budget and SIPs, and I'm trying to understand where the money from the last SIPs from 2019 and 2020 were to go for Crimgold Park and some of the other facilities in the county. At the end of the day, I understand it's a budget meeting. It's not my intention to bash the county, but I really do think that you need to spend some more time and money on Parks and Recs. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Lisa Massano, and I am a resident of Carroll County for 18 years. I'm also a candidate for the BOE. My husband and I chose this community in which to raise our family. Our 3 children attend public schools. I wish to extend a sincere thank you for including the increased CCPS funding that was requested by the Board of Education in this year's county budget. I'm also very grateful for you to for the commitment to Liberty High School modernization as part of the county's capital plan. Recently, my schedule has been jam-packed with end of the school year activities, causing me to reflect on the importance of our public schools in our communities. April and May host a flurry of band, orchestra, theater, and chorus concerts for all of our young, talented musicians and actors. There are also the bustling athletic competitions as families and friends cheer on our dedicated athletes. Parents descend on our elementary schools for play days and class picnics to watch their kids participate with their classmates in friendly games and races that are a rite of passage of childhood. As I attended several concerts and yesterday's county track meet, I reflected on the pride that our communities take in our schools. Our families pour time, energy, money, and their hearts into our children and value their educational opportunities. Our schools are the epicenter for our communities and build a sense of connection and belonging. It is critical that we continue to build and enhance these connections to keep Carroll County a close-knit, vibrant, and successful community. Carroll County cares for one another, steps up and volunteers to help neighbors in need, and remains a wonderful place to live and raise a family. With that benefit that our school communities provide also comes a shared responsibility, a responsibility of our county as a whole to take pride in and provide adequately for our schools. We expect the same dedication that our families provide to our school community to be reflected in our county's care of our school system. I am encouraged and thankful for the commitment to additional funding for CCPS next year and for including the modernization of Liberty High School in the capital plan. Tackling the highest priority school building modernization is a big step forward in addressing needed capital improvements. These commitments show progress on developing a long-term plan to meet the needs of CCPS, but we still have work to do. I appreciate your commitment and recognition that these investments in our public schools are crucial to our communities, our young people, and the future of Carroll County. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening. My name is Sharon Wilhide. I have two kind of parts to what I wanted to say. First, in the world of special education, I'm a special educator, the law states that parents are entitled to receive a copy of their children's individualized education plan, or IEP, 5 days before the IEP meeting. It gives the parents time to review the document and develop questions and be able to be a part of the team. As elected officials, you are part of the team with the community that is all here to speak tonight. So I have a question. Why is the budget document released the day after the budget tour? That doesn't allow all members of the team to review the necessary information to make an informed decision. If the community had it, let's say 5 days to go along with the IEP law, 5 days before, there might be more community involvement at the budget tour meetings at the library to be able to discuss what is in the budget. The second part I wanted to say was, although the county commissioners funded the Board of Education requested, which thank you for providing that additional funding, just know that that proposed budget still eliminates 15 FTE positions. So there are still 15 positions that are being eliminated. They are saying that it is being phased out with people who are retiring or are leaving the system, but that still means there will be 15 less educators in the school system. What kind of impact is that going to have on our students and our community? We are still 24th out of 24 in the state per pupil funding. And I know it's a combination between the local and the state funding, but the wealthier counties in the state make up the difference from the state funding. We are one of the more wealthier counties. We're not the wealthiest, but one of the more wealthiers. The best investment you can make in any community is the school system. Strong, well-funded schools create an educated, safer, and more profitable community. The community speaks out year after year for additional funding for our schools. Our schools should be a place of strength and reliability, not constantly on the chopping block. It's not sustainable. We need to invest in our schools to invest in our community. Thank you.
Okay, the last names, Jim Kernan, Edward Lindeman, and Michael McCready.
Evening, Commissioners. I'm a Marine Corps vet. I'm going to do a double thank you here. First, thank you for supporting VIP. VIP does a little more than, I think, than American Legion and the other organizations. They provide a place for veterans to meet, but most of them have a bar and whatnot, and VIP does not have that. They have we call it a day room. It's a little more family oriented, has sofas and chairs, provides coffee and whatnot, so it's a little more comforting and a little more, you know, you can have conversation without loud noise and everything, so it's a more intimate type setting. Guys can really relax and be themselves and have good camaraderie with their vets. So I'd like to thank you for supporting us on that. And then I'd also like to thank you for supporting the library. A couple of us are here, are members of the Finksburg Veterans Book Club. A couple of you were at the 10-year anniversary that we celebrated last month, or 2 months ago, I think. But I'd like to thank you for your support on that, and just like to thank you to continue to support our veterans.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for past and present support. I'm a veteran also. I struck out the different organizations to see what benefits I could qualify for, medical and with prescriptions. And Carroll County Veterans Independence Project has far exceeded that, also being a nonprofit. A lot of these other entities have a request that if you make if you get any compensation money for, say, they require a percentage of that for their services, where VIP is strictly volunteer, like I said, nonprofit. I'm an active member there. I love the camaraderie. We support other veterans on our own time in the community. We've started an ambassador program coming up, I believe, for promoting awareness for other vets that don't know about it. I didn't know myself when I was qualified for anything when I got out. I just went out the door and that was it, with no information on anything. So I appreciate your thoughts and further supporting this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here today. I'm a veteran too, and a combat veteran fighting cancer. I went to your Carroll County Senior Center and I got denied access to benefits through their employment. And I think you'd be better spent your money with the VIP instead of Carroll County Senior Center. Because it's just appalling that you got to play with games with these people. And if you want to play games, fine, but you're playing games with people with cancer, and I have it. It took me years to get back my benefits. The VIP behind me stuck up, gave me my benefits back, and I'm fighting non-Hodgkin lymphoma, stage 3. And the Carroll County denied me, and they told me not to come there anymore. So you want to do something about the budget? Take it away from them and give it to the VIP. Thank you.
That's all of our cards, Commissioners.
Thank you very much, Ted. Thank you, everybody, again for joining us this evening. We are incredibly grateful again to you for your time and to have shared your thoughts with us regarding the FY27 proposed budget. Please do continue to be in touch with us regarding the budget as we move forward into the final 2 weeks of the process. Again, thank you for everything this evening. And so, being said, we need a motion to close the public hearing this evening and to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.